redlining, which oddly enough was true. And for those who don't know what redlining is, I'm about to explain, right? So it turns out that in fact in this country, the reason that people of color disproportionately live in lower income communities and urban areas is in fact because of this thing, among others, called redlining. And what that was that for generations, and it was perfectly legal to do this, by the way, up until 1968 when the Fair Housing Act passed. It went on for generations where you had banks that would take red markers on big maps in their offices, in the loan office of the bank, and they would draw lines around black neighborhoods, and occasionally Latino neighborhoods too, but especially black neighborhoods. And they would say anybody who lives within the boundaries of these lines cannot get a loan from the bank. You're not going to get a mortgage loan for a house. You're not going to get a business loan to start up your own business. Didn't matter what your credit record was, by the way. Didn't matter if you had a good job. Didn't matter what your occupational status or your education was. Simply living in that community meant you were not going to get a loan. So when my daughter says redlining is in part implicated, it wasn't the full picture, but it was a big piece of it. The bigger picture being a history of discrimination. Who could live where and who couldn't. And so I explained that to my daughter, the 10-year-old, of course. When her sister said redlining, she said, yeah, I don't know what that means. And I said, yeah, neither does your sister. She's just showing off. But I explained it, took about 3 minutes, real simple little 3-minute discussion. Wasn't a long conversation, right? But it was enough to let her know that history matters and that the things that she sees didn't just happen, that they're the result of certain policies. But Daddy, why is it that pretty much everybody in this neighborhood is black? Now that is an incredibly good anthropological and sociological inquiry. It's really very observant and a very important question.